Hello on the Daily Family, and welcome back to the show. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the human collective consciousness. This episode is all about how to expand your consciousness to live a happier life. There is an energetic frequency of living, of like every living thing on this planet. And so your ability to tap into that really determines your external reality, your lived reality. So I'm calling all spiritual entrepreneurs because this episode is definitely for you. Hey, friend. Welcome to On the Daily. I'm your host, Danielle McCleary, and I am a quantum business coach. I'm the host of this podcast. I'm a multi-six-figure entrepreneur, co-founder and president of Hype You Media, and CEO of Danielle on the Daily Coaching. What I'm really interested in is helping you live a life and have a business that is a full body yes. So through all of my education and all of my experience, I'm bringing you 2 episodes a week where I will guide you and give you the tools necessary to scale a massive, sustainable, and sexy business using your intuition, wealth energetics, and human design. What we can call it is business biohacking. So if you're down for that, then I say let's frickin' go. I'm so glad you're here. My program called From Zero to Launch, which is a business launching program. So it's a 90-day business launching blueprint, essentially everything you're going to need to launch a business. It is coming back live for one more live round. After that, it'll be a fully self-paced course, but the live rounds include everything in the course, and we're adding new modules for this round. Things like mini chat, how to maximize sales through automation, how to close sales in the DMs. Like we're really adding a whole sales portion to this program for this next live round. And then they will also include live calls with me. So live Q&As, things you're working on, sales page audits, copy audit, all of that is going to be included in this last live round that I'm going to be running starting March 1st. So if you've been thinking about launching a business, now is the time, and this program is going to help you do it. It's literally everything you'll possibly need to launch a digital business. So whether you're a service provider, whether you're a coach, you're a healer, a light worker, anything with a digital business, this program is going to help you, and it's going to give you every single step along the way to follow so that you can launch successfully and scale easily. So if you want the information, if you want to join me for our March 1st launch date, go ahead and click the link in our show notes, or you can always slide into my DMs on Instagram at Danielle_on_the_daily and ask me any questions you have. But I look forward to seeing you inside. All right. Human collective consciousness. What the heck even is that? Everything is energy, right? Like everything on our planet is energy. You are energy. I am energy. Your dog is energy. Your house is energy. Every single thing is made out of atoms. Atoms are energy. And energy is affected differently by different elements. So think about water. If it's hot, it boils. If it's cold, it freezes. Think about fire. There's different heat types of fire. Some things make fire explode. Some things make fire go out, right? Every single thing has energy, and that energy can change depending on what type of frequency it's given. Humans are no different. We are the same way. So there is an energetic spectrum of emotion. So at the bottom of that spectrum is greed, shame, guilt, fear. Those are the lowest possible frequencies. When we're in a state of fear, when we're in a state of scarcity, when we're in a state of guilt, our frequency lowers, our light dims, right? We become less energetic. We become less enthusiastic. We become less adventurous, less ambitious. Our mood is lower. We probably have poor health. There's a lot of things that happen when our frequency goes low. At the top end of the energetic spectrum is gratitude, joy, love, peace. When we're in that state of consciousness, we have energy. We are excited. We are productive. We are adding value. We are not depleted, right? So that spectrum of emotion, obviously, as humans, we ride that wave. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. But essentially, the higher your frequency goes, the happier you become, the more healthy you become. And like health has become such an objective word. And when I say healthy, what I mean is like you feel at home in your body, healthy. You are healthy. You are at home in your mind, your soul, and your body. That is health, in my opinion. And so when we talk about the human collective consciousness and our ability to change our frequency, not only do we have the ability to change our frequency, we have the ability to change other people's frequency as well. And so the way that your energy is coming out of your body can affect how other people receive it. And therefore, it's like if you've ever been in a room and like your friend, let's say you're with your friend and they're in a really bad mood, but then they spend the afternoon with you and you're in a really good mood, then they're happy. So that's the idea. Your energy can change someone else's. So that's another way that energy is kind of transmuted amongst the collective. Now, the other thing that really, really affects your energetic frequency on this planet is how you are thinking and how you are speaking. Your words are so powerful. So, you may be like, I am so abundant. I'm so grateful. I'm living in gratitude. This is my year. Everything's going to be awesome. But then all the time you're thinking, why don't I have what everyone else has? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm really scared. Maybe you're judging yourself because you're not where your friend is in their business. Maybe you're triggered by people on the internet who have more or seem to be doing more than you. This is all affecting your frequency because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you necessarily it's like it doesn't really matter if you consciously think it. If your subconscious mind has decided something else, then that is what it's going to believe. And so this is why I always say, like, your words are powerful. And the way that you speak to yourself is how you expand your consciousness, which in turn helps you live a healthier, happier, wealthier life. Words like, I can't, I won't, I wish, I will, those things are lack words. They come from lack. I wish I could do that. That implies to your subconscious mind that you cannot have it, that it's not meant for you. And so what happens then is your body starts to believe that, and you never can raise your consciousness because you're always subconsciously believing that you cannot have something because all you say is that you wish that were to be true. You wish you could do that. Another example is if you are posting content on social media. This is like a very real life application of what I'm trying to say. If you're on social media and you post a reel on social media. Let's say you're online, you post a reel on social media. That reel does really, really well. And you say things like, wow, that's crazy. I had no idea that reel would do so well. Or, wow, that's surprising. Or, I didn't realize the reel would do that well. What you are saying to your subconscious mind is, this is not normal. It's not normal for us to do well on social media. And so, because it's not normal and it's more of a shock and you're kind of surprised about it, what your subconscious mind does is it releases a chemical into your bloodstream that's basically like, shock is normal. So your body really likes to feel shocked. And when your body really likes to feel shocked, you're never going to normalize doing well on social media because that would no longer shock you at that point. And so that's how, when you start to pay attention to how your words affect your frequency, who you're around affects your frequency, how the food you eat affects your frequency, how the music you listen to affects your frequency is affected by every single element, just like water, just like fire, just like earth, just like air. It's affected by the elements. So if you're constantly listening to music, and this gets like really spiritual, but it's a real thing. Whenever I'm trying to be productive, okay, if I'm trying to like sit down and write a whole bunch of podcast episodes, or if I'm trying to write a whole bunch of content, or if I'm trying to write a sales page for a new program, right? I like to listen to 528 hertz sound frequency. You can Google it. You can just like go on YouTube and type in 528 hertz. And that is the frequency of healing. It's the frequency of focus and creativity. So when you listen to that, your frequency rises into a more creative state, which allows you to have more focus, more clarity, and more drive. If all I did was, when I sat down to work, if I turned on like, you know, some of the hip hop music these days, like that low frequency hip hop, like I'm thinking like Migos type music, like that's a low frequency, and it's going to put you in a lower frequency, which is going to make it harder to focus. It's going to make it's going to make it harder to have clarity. It's going to make it more difficult to get stuff done because it's dimming your frequency. So this is why like the music you listen to affects your frequency, right? My son, if he's an Aquarius, he's an air sign. He is when he is super frustrated or I can tell his energy is like getting really spastic and chaotic, I add water. I put him in the bath. In the bath, always it's an element that like changes his frequency, right? Same thing with water. If you start to feel like overstimulated, if you start to feel like that hot energy inside of your body, drink some ice water, cool yourself down. That's going to change your frequency, right? The food you eat, if all you eat is like burning hot food, and then you're wondering why you're like overstimulated and kind of like you have a lot of aggression, try eating something really cold, eat like a salad, have some ice cream, like I don't know. But also like inflammatory foods, right? If you're eating foods that like inflame your system, it's going to change your frequency. Everything we do that changes our frequency. If you start thinking of yourself as you are, which is an energetic being, you will start to feel different in your body and you'll start to feel more in control of where you're at. And if you can control your consciousness and therefore expand your consciousness, then you're all by default going to live a happier life. You're by default going to be more successful. You're by default going to feel wealthier. And that has nothing to do with money. That's just like internal wealth is like that freedom that you get to call the shots. This is something I implemented in my business. This is something I implement in my personal life. This is, I mean, in my house, like so my human design, I am really, my brain turns on in direct light. So when I'm working, I have a ring light on. I have, my windows don't have shades on them. It's very much natural light. It's a lot of direct sunlight. As soon as I'm done working for the day, I know that I need to like calm my brain because my brain moves very fast and I can chronically overthink. So to switch off work mode, what I do is we have smart lights in our house. So at 6:35, I have them programmed to dim and go more into a mood lighting. I change my clothes. I wash my face, add water. I wash my face. I change my clothes. I get into something more comfortable so that my brain can shift more into like family and rest mode. These are all things that I have learned throughout my entrepreneurial journey. And it's like so far beyond like just make a great sales page, get better at sales, get better at this. So much of living a happier life, so much of living more successfully, so much of having a more like a wealthier life, a better business has so much to do with your consciousness and your ability to control the frequency at which you operate. So pay attention to that. This is like all of the stuff I talk about inside of my programs, by the way. So if like this is something that you're super interested in, I really, really recommend you get into some of my programs. You can always slide into my DMs to try to figure out which one is best for you. But knowing how to control your own energetic consciousness is the key to everything you want. It truly, truly is. And once you learn how low frequency feels in your body, you will never, ever be able to unlearn it. That being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I do want to tell you before I let you go, I do want to tell you about a new course I have also called The Business of Podcasting. I actually made it with my business partner, Chase Mitchell, who is the CEO of Upstarter Pods. He's my producer for this podcast. We partnered up. We created a brand called Hype You Media, which is a podcast production and media company, or not podcast production, sorry, podcast network and media company. And we came together and created the business of podcasting. So if creating a podcast, launching a podcast, scaling a podcast, learning to monetize your podcast is a goal for you in 2024, this course literally gives you everything you will possibly need to launch a podcast. Like it really is gold as far as I'm concerned. And anyone who's launching, scaling, or learning to monetize a podcast needs this course. It has self-led modules that you can listen to whenever you want. There are so many different topics from the equipment you're going to use all the way to how to use your podcast as a business funnel and like a lead generation. Like it's serious gold. And if you're launching a podcast, I highly suggest that you get into this course. You can DM me or you can click the link in our show notes for that link. And I will see you back in our next episode. Bye.